Okay, episode 4. Adam,
Episode.
can you
Trev,
believe? Can you believe it's almost been a month since we started?
doing a podcast. Getting started is the hardest part, but once you start doing it and getting through the editing, the grind, and all that, it's been good.
The waiting is the hardest part.
That's right.
Copyright strike.
Got to get in.
I was thinking, time means nothing in the year 2020. I was like, Jesus, I can't believe it's been 6 months into the year. And I was thinking, I sent you the video of me. I had that thought, imagine a place where time means nothing. Imagine you have to wear a mask everywhere you go in public.
That'll never be here. It does. It actually does.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Yep. 2020 does sound like a Twilight Zone episode.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. We're going through it. We're living through it. It's nuts, man.
So this is a little bit of a callback to our last episode and to our first. I was going to mention, before we get into the stock market, before we get into the boring stuff.
Right.
That's
what the episode's about, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a stock market episode, so be ready to
hear that bell. Ding, ding,
right.
Ding, ding. Ding, ding.
I always thought of a horse race whenever I would hear that.
Well,
and they're off.
It is kind of a horse race if you don't know what you're doing.
It is. It really is.
I'm going to put all my money on that three-legged horse.
If he wins, I win $10 million.
The three-legged horse named Nicola.
Nicola.
It's actually Nicola. Anyways, I was thinking about cancel culture from our first episode. Ellen has been under fire, cancel culture wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this funny realization. I was like, I've known Ellen my whole life, and I don't know anything about her. I was like, I know nothing about Ellen. I've seen all of her shows. I'm like, I don't know anything about you. I was thinking, how can I have no viewpoint of this person?
Right.
She's been in my knowledge, in my brain for 20-something years, and I still don't know anything about this person. I'm like, it's absolutely insane. I was thinking, is she like Mr. Burns behind the scenes?
Allegedly.
I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm just going to have to call her up and hang out with her for a few days at her mansion. Hey, Ellen, I need to know who you are. Let me hang out with you on your yacht.
So what's going on? Why don't you like people?
Why are they coming for you with the pitchforks? What's going on Twitter?
Yeah. The only thing I know, from her show, is people saying that when they bring someone up to talk to her or something, they say don't hug her too hard because she has a sore back or something.
She's like Mr. Burns. She's frail.
Yeah, she's very frail. And she kind of has that look.
Snaps in half when you grab her.
Don't hug her too hard. Just kind of give her a tap.
I was talking to my mom about this, and my mom said something really smart. She goes, maybe Ellen wanted it that way. And I was like, duh. I'm like, whoa, mind blown. Ellen.
She had a plan.
Ellen was like, they can't know how mean I am. I don't know.
The audience loves me.
I was thinking
what everyone else thinks.
I was thinking too about Joe Rogan said talk shows are terrible. And I was thinking maybe that's what it is. It's like a combination of Ellen purposely being vanilla and the talk show format. You don't really get a whole lot from the hosts in those shows. They only get 5 minutes. And we're back, and Bradley Cooper is hot, and Jennifer Lawrence is quirky and hot. Let's talk about your funny story, Jennifer Lawrence, and then it's over. Then you've learned nothing about the host. You've only heard the same thing you've already heard from Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not really getting a lot out of that host.
Yeah, it's just the name. It's the name on the...
Because I'll be honest, I was scrolling in my brain through all the hosts, and I cannot really tell you much about the ones that I only know from hosting.
Yeah.
The ones I do have opinions about or viewpoint on is the ones I've seen in other stuff. Like Jimmy Fallon, I've seen him on SNL a ton.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert, I've seen him in movies and stuff. But Ellen, I'm like, she was in Coneheads as the chick at the pool. I was like, I don't know. And I never seen her stand up. I'm like,
She got a game show too.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. Some kind of Ellen's Games or something. I don't know. Never
Maybe
watched
she's
it.
like friends with like the MIB, and she's like just memory wiped me. Maybe that's why she really wants it. My mom is probably right. She wants it that way. I can see Ellen right now. She's like, in the future, I want to be like the inventor of like the cotton gin or something. I just want my face in a picture and my name next to my picture. Ellen DeGeneres, the inventor of the cotton gin. That's it. It's just like in a textbook. You know nothing about her personal life or anything about her personality. It's like, yeah, that's just like famous people in textbooks. Do you think it's a little ridiculous that they were trying to cancel her?
I do. I don't know exactly what
I haven't read any of it, by the way, so don't come at me, audience. I haven't read anything. So.
Right. I don't like. I saw it as I was at the grocery store. I saw her face on one of the smut magazines. And then when you see someone blown up, like it's always when their face is really blown up, you know they did something bad.
Mm-hmm.
So her face was like really blown up on the magazine. I'm like, oh, what did she do? And I kind of glanced at it and like, Ellen, a terror to work with something. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm not even going to get into that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I've heard that stuff. I mean, that's kind of the thing that kind of is gone with her is that I think the older she gets, the worse it gets or something. So I don't know.
I was
cancel culture.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I think people just want to take people down. They want to take celebrities down. You know,
a power trip.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're successful. Well, fuck you.
Oh
yeah,
who's next? Who's next?
Well, I guess we'll have to talk about Tesla.
Okay.
Stock market episode.
Tesla stocks. Okay, everyone, get ready. Here we go. We're going to talk about the stock market.
Let's get the dumb thing out of the way. So they announced a stock split.
Yeah.
Say Adam has $1, and I go, hey, Adam, I'm going to give you 4 quarters. Give me that $1. Now you got 4 shares of a quarter each. Nothing has changed. You still have $1 worth of the stock. It's just now you have 4 shares at 25 cents.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing different. But for some reason, everyone's going ape shit over the 25 cent.
Well, the difference is
that
when it starts, right? But the difference is being that when it starts, if it starts to go up again, well, then you have even more.
But fundamentally, nothing has changed value-wise.
No.
Nothing has changed.
Not at the moment. No.
Definitely not a 26% jump in 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The company did not get 26% more valuable from a stock split. That's nuts. No. But I was trying to go and get this out of the way. The stock market is not a mirror of reality at all. Like when people they compare the economy to the stock market, like, how is the stock market doing so well? What is happening? And it's like, you do realize the stock market is not the economy. They're not the same thing. Like, the
stock market is very manipulated.
Yeah. I think it was like only 14 institutions control like 95% of all the transactions in the stock market.
Yeah.
And institutions that have secret little black boxes with algorithms and all these transactions are like done in like milliseconds, like thousands of trades per day in milliseconds, thousands per millisecond. It's called high frequency trading and volume too. There's so much volume. Like that's why I don't really believe the retail investor stuff is that big of an impact on the stock market. I think that maybe give or take probably accounts for less than 20% of movement. Like Robinhood, there's no way someone putting $100 in Robinhood is pushing it that much.
No,
there's just no way. Not when you have players pushing millions and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, man. I mean, any given time you have day traders that are throwing in like $5,000 and $10,000 on these little penny stocks that are making them just jump up like crazy. And then, like you said, the algorithms are looking at that and they're like, oh, now it's time to sell. Now it's time to buy. Now it's time to sell. Now it's time to buy. It's just like, it's basically like the little penny stocks just being raped like crazy.
Yeah, they're making the money. They're making the money on, I think, on the spread, right? Is that how that works? Oh man, we're getting into some deep shit. They're making that money on that 2-cent spread on 1,000 shares.
Yeah, it is, man. It's exactly what it is. That's the hardcore day trader. They're looking at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cent stocks, and they're wanting them to move 5, 10 cents,
And they're just scraping the top.
Yep,
The,
they are.
the little
They are.
profit. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, when you're investing that much, when you're investing like $5,000 into a 50-cent stock, if it goes up 5 cents, you made, a nice little chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if it goes down 5 cents, you lost a nice little chunk of change. So,
You guys bored yet? You guys bored yet?
Give and take, yeah, right. I think we should talk about our experiences with it too. It's kind of like,
dude, we got stories.
Right?
Strap in, people.
So my experience is that I got started really into the stock market when I got laid off from Sam's Club, and was laid off and given a pretty good severance. And so I took the severance and decided to play the stock market, because I was like, I can make some money, invest in some things, play around, and decided to try some day trading, and did my research, some YouTube things.
You were an expert right off the bat.
Yeah, right. I had exactly what a lot of day traders will tell you that happened is exactly what happened to me. Is I had the beginner's luck, and I got very cocky and arrogant about it, and then I got just fucking hammered, like kicked in the nards pretty hard. So
this is about the movie pass time. This is when you got really
right.
lucky on. I don't know if you guys remember, our audience out there. Movie Pass was the subscription thing where you pay a subscription and you can see as many movies as you want at the theater. And the stock blew up. Like, it was going to be like the next Netflix. And it was like moving up like 100% in like 2 days. So when Adam made these trades, he was like, wow, this is so easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was, man. Like, my best trade.
$10,000 million.
I did. My best trade, and I'll never forget it, because I made $3,000 in about 5 minutes. And that's when I got very arrogant about it. I'm like, oh my God. I was telling Renee, my wife, I'm like, babe, we're good. We're set. Let's start looking for islands to buy, because we're going to be good. We're going to be buying on private jets.
Your wife looks over like,
and she kind of, she bought in, but not really. She's like, oh, are you really? Are you serious? I mean,
he'll lose steam.
So, well, she was, and she was too. She was like, so where's the money again? I'm like, well, it's still in, Robinhood right now. I can't withdraw it just yet, but once it gets up to like 100,000, then we'll go and start taking some out.
I made a similar thing, but I had beginner's disluck with day trading.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to buy. Actually, I wouldn't call it day trading. I would call it just trading in general.
Yeah.
I was like, GoPro's down a lot. I'm going to buy a lot of GoPro. It's good. If stock goes down, you know what that means? It's going to
go up.
It's got to go up, right? No. Companies can go bankrupt.
Yep.
Wow. Or they can just
How does
fail.
that happen? Sears?
Companies can just fail. Believe it or not. Wow. Yeah.
I did that same thing with JCPenney. I'm like, there's no way it could go down below like 50 cents. I'm going to buy like 2,000 shares. It went down to like 10 cents. I'm like, damn it.
I checked it.
Penny.
I remember checking it like 2 years later, and I was like, it never went back up to the price that I bought in at. I'm like, it never went back to $30 a share. It never went. I was like, wow, I was so dumb. But people, I watched it. I watched this video, and I clicked on the comments on YouTube, and this guy goes, yeah, if stock goes down a lot, it's going back up. I'm like, don't fall for that freaking mistake, dude. That's a dumb, stupid beginner's mistake. Just because the stock is down, don't mean it's just going to go right back up. That's not how this works.
You got to look at the company too. Like
well, he was talking about an airline. I was like, no, that airline could be going bankrupt. You don't know, dude. Like,
yeah.
So our listeners,
you don't know that the pandemic's going to happen.
and just we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way. Do not follow our advice.
Right.
We are not experts, so do not follow.
We're not experts. We're just giving our opinions and from our personal experience from actually being involved in the stock market and trading and using platforms that we have liked and have disliked, and things that have worked for us, things that haven't worked for us. And we both still actually trade stocks even to today, but we just don't do day trading.
I don't trade. I don't
buy.
Buy
Buy stocks. Invest.
I invest.
That's what,
that's
yeah.
that's
I don't
different.
mean trade. I mean, that's what I mean. Invest.
Yeah, I would not.
Okay.
I would not
So
categorize myself as a trader.
here's another boring section that we're going to go over. The 3 types of trading. Me and you started out as day traders, right? We both did day trading, which was terrible. And then we kind of switched over to swing trading. Swing trading is more so like you hold a stock for a week or so. You like kind of let it play, see what it's going to do, and then you sell it. And both of us now are more so into position trading, which is you buy into a stock and you hold it. And you say, look, I know this is a good company. I know it's going to go up. I know that I'm just going to hold it. I'm not going to worry about it. Basically passive investing is
That's
what
actually
it is.
what most people want, by the way.
Right.
This is when
position trading.
when people talk about making money in the stock, what they're telling you is, oh, I'm buying shares of this over a long period of time, and then I'm cashing out when I'm like 60.
Right. That's totally position trading.
That's what most people are telling you when they're like, I'm an investor, blah, 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 blah. Like, unless they're angel investing. If they're angel investing, that's totally different. That's a whole nother planet. That's
you know what the biggest difference I could see is that the time spent. Day trading, you have to spend pretty much 24/7 into stocks and reading.
It's a full-time job.
It is. It's more than a full-time job. Swing trading is a little less. You still have to be more kind of involved, reading things and seeing things, but not as much as day trading. Position trading, it's completely passive. It's very passive. It's you check on it every once in a while just to see, oh, look, we're doing good. And if there's the only time you really have to really get into it and look at it is if there's like some kind of like when COVID first happened and the stock market completely crashed, down $3,000 in a day. That's when you really want to get in there and say, okay, I need to get out real quick. So I need to reset.
It reminds me of that South Park episode, the Margaritaville episode. Stan goes into the bank and he's like, yeah, I'd like to invest this $100. He's like, sure, we'll put that in a money market mutual fund account. And it's gone. He's like, what do you mean it's gone? Poof, gone.
Poof, it's gone. Sorry, we only help customers of the bank. And so you're not one now because your money's all gone.
And that actually, I think that's how most people view the stock market and investing. It's like this weird ethereal world that makes no sense at all. It's like chicken with its head's cut off, rolling around on the table.
That's what it was too in that episode. And we're gonna buy.
Oh, and you see it, dude. You see it on CNN and like Fox. They're like, "Oh, the stock market's down today because of psychology." It's like, you don't know why it's down. Shut up.
It's fear. It's all based on fear. It's
fear and greed.
Fear and greed.
But the thing is, it's not anything you can use to your advantage. Nothing on CNN they tell you can actually use to make money. They're not. None of that is tried and true approaches.
Nope.
So you can't. If I give you an explanation for something, like, ooh, the gods, they come down and they hurt you if you jump out of a window. That's not something you can use. But if I use science and I'm like, oh, it's gravity. There's this force that pulls on you at this number and this. That's something you can use. You can't use, it's because people are greedy and scared. Like, I can't use that. How am I going to make money using that?
Yep.
That's just BS crap that CNN, Fox don't even, what they're really telling you is we don't know. Yep. We don't know why this went up or why this went down.
Basically, your best bet is to just buy into companies you believe in, companies you know, companies you like.
Well, I would give that caveat. I would say buy into the companies you naturally follow.
Yeah.
Don't ever buy something you don't understand. Like, if you don't understand it, don't even touch it. And
I made that mistake so many times.
This reminds me. He sent me, it was a week ago. And I talked to you about it a little bit. You were some like company working on a vaccine. And I was thinking, does he know Tesla is working on a vaccine? I was like, does he know?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's what you're going to tell me.
You're crossing over. You're like, you're getting, they're getting into making.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're like working with a pharmaceutical company, making a machine to make the vaccine faster. And I was like, they're already getting in on that game.
Okay.
And I was thinking, does he know? Does Adam know?
Did not know that, but thank you.
Like, you're kind of already investing in the vaccination process. Like, I was like, maybe he doesn't know. because I just
No,
found
I
out.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found out like a week or two ago. I was like, oh, I didn't.
Nice, dude.
They've been working on it for years. A machine that helps speed up like vaccinations, like the creation of vaccines and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
So they could kind of maybe work with that Moderna place. And like that's the thing is I know I've studied on that company. Like I kind of know what they're about. So they're not someone that I'm just like, oh, that sounds good. Like I've actually since COVID happened, they're the one company that's come up like every time any kind of vaccine has been mentioned. This particular company has come up. So I'm like, this could be something. You know,
I guess we'll go ahead and talk about Elon, his criticism of the financial people, smart people going into financial markets and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's really actually spot on. Like for you to do your homework and look at under the hood, no pun intended, look under the hood of these companies and like, let me look under the hood of Tesla and actually look at the financials and their margins on their it's some boring shit. It's some boring crap. Like, thankfully, there's a place called Hypercharts. They put in Apple, Tesla, and a bunch of other companies so far, and they made everything easy on charts. You can just click on a chart, see things from their margins on their sales numbers, their R&D, their revenue, their growth, all kinds of stuff. Super easy to use. It's all visual, so you don't have to read a bunch of boring like statements and just a bunch of paragraphs. Boring.
Yeah, who wants to?
Nobody wants
that,
to.
Man?
But Warren Buffett did. Warren Buffett would sit there and read those Moody manuals and read prospectus on some fund. That stuff is incredibly boring.
In this little 2-story house in Omaha.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about when he was a kid. He was doing this.
Oh, wow.
He was like 18 years old, looking at these manuals and reading through them. Like, who would do such a thing? Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, he loved that stuff.
So you want to be a billionaire? This is what you do.
You want to be a billionaire?
Oh, it sucks.
Investor. Yeah, it's some boring shit, man. Like, it's not exciting. People think it really is like bing, 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 so, bye, bye.
Yeah.
It's like they think it's like American Psycho, like they're at a club snorting cocaine in the bathroom stall. Like, no,
just made $10,000
and per second.
Yep,
it's nothing like that. Like you're really not knowing the real truth.
I'm telling you, aside from that one time that I made that $3,000 or so, like every other time I was in any kind of day trade, it was like me staring at my laptop, probably like 5 inches away from the screen, watching these little candlesticks like per minute. Every minute they were changing. Like, oh, I'm up $50. Oh, now I'm down $60. No, I'm up $40. No, I'm down. Oh,
I remember.
Dude, agonizing.
I remember. I woke up. Was like I had to get up at 4 a.m. Turn my computer on, and I was just following Connor, this guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was following this day trader, and I was just gonna do exactly what he was doing, and I was so tired, and I was clicking the buttons, watching the candles, and I was like, oh my God. I could see like money going negative. And I was like, oh my God. My heart was racing. I was like, oh my God. And I was like trying to get out. I'm trying to macro, use a keyboard macro. And then it went up and then I sold. It was like plus 300, like in 2 seconds. I was like, whoa. Yeah. And then I realized that pain was so much greater than that pleasure that I got from that $300. I was like, that's not worth it.
Yeah, I was like, that was stress, man.
That was so stressful. I was like, it's like going into work and someone puts a gun to your head for money. Like that's not like, oh God.
I had one moment where I bought into a stock and I held it after the close of the day.
Oh, I remember you told me about this.
This is on Robinhood, and so on Robinhood, unless you have $25,000 invested, you can only do 3 day trades per week or so, like 7 business days or whatever. And I'd already maxed my 3 out, and I went ahead and bought back into this stock because I'm like, oh man, this thing's gonna keep running. It's gonna go up so hard. I bought back in.
You're so confident.
right before the end of the day, right before the end of the day trading or the trading day, and I bought in, and I was just so confident. I caught the bus. I went downtown. I'm like, I'm gonna have some lunch, meet up with wifey, talk to her. And as I'm like ordering my lunch, I just remember this. I'm like, let me go check it real quick. That thing tanked in the aftermarket. Like it went down like $50 or so, and I had like 100 shares or whatever. Dude, I was
That's where the
sick,
snakes
man.
get
I
you.
was sick.
That's
I
where
was
the
just like,
snakes will get you in
yes.
the aftermarket. They'll be
Oof.
moving
Oh,
that thing
yeah.
hardcore.
And then so all night I'm just stressed out about this. I'm like, I couldn't sleep. I keep checking and I'm like, please don't go down anymore. Please. I'm already down like, $600-700. I'm like, God. And then it just, it didn't go down too much further, but the next day I'm like, I just had to sell it and just take my losses.
And then you feel
And
that
the bad part is I was up like almost $1,000 on it, like that particular day.
and then you
And I
feel
ended
that
up losing.
and then you feel that
Yeah.
pressure to make it all back. That's what
Right. Yeah.
sucks because you're
Yeah.
stuck in that cycle. You're like, oh,
Yep.
I gotta make it back. It's just like when you don't know what you're doing. It's just like going to the fucking casino.
Yeah.
It's
it
exactly what it
really
feels like.
is.
I remember. I went to this Indian casino, and I think it was Saquami.
Yeah.
And it was me, my sister, and my brother-in-law. And I ate an edible, and I had a few drinks on me, and I was messed up. And I was at the roulette table, and I was up a lot. I started with like $5, right? And I was up to like $200-something on roulette.
Oh yeah.
And the Native American guy is like, please leave. He's got this look on his face like, I'm losing, you need to leave. Like he's got that looks on his face. And this Chinese guy walks over. And trust me, I can spot Chinese people. My brother-in-law is Chinese, so I know. Don't come at me, people saying, oh, you don't know if he was Chinese. Anyways, he puts down like $1,000 on like 21 red. And I kid you not, the guy rolls the roulette wheel. 20 black, you lose. It's like immediately takes his $1,000 in 1 second.
Oh.
I was like, oh my, and I was like, that's day trading. That's that feeling. Yeah. Like, here you go, you lost $1,000 in a split second. Yeah. Like, and then he's look on his face like the dumbest look on his face. The Chinese guy. He was trying to look.
Know what?
He was so confident looking before he placed that bet, and then he immediately lost all of it. So then he gets up and he leaves. And the edible was starting to really kick in. And I go to a different roulette table because I was winning too much. I just, did my little thing. And I'm up again like $50. So I'm like at $250 now. And he comes over and he puts down double the amount of money. I guess he's trying to make back his losses.
Oh, shit.
He's like, but he puts down in different places. He doesn't get a single one. He loses all $2,000 cash on all his chips. He had it spread out over the roulette table. He's like, you lose again, 00.
Dude, roulette, man. That is a good description of day trading. Roulette. It's basically that guy.
And he had this look on his face like it's the end of the world, like looking at that Chinese guy's face. I was like, dude, like slow down, man. Like
that was my mortgage payment.
Like, dude, slow down. You're gonna sell the car next? I mean, like going to the ATM.
Oh man.
That's when you know you've made a mistake when you run out of money at the Vegas and you go to the ATM. You know you made a mistake. Like, wait a minute, stop. If you're in the casino and you ran out of cash and you're going to the ATM, you need to stop. You've lost enough. That was your.
Or actually, that's the one machine I always went on. I won again. Another $50.
Did I ever tell you I went to Vegas with my parents? Don't go with your parents, people. It's not as fun.
I've done it too. Hey, parents and grandmother.
I've been there twice now, and I can't help but think like this is the most glamorous and sleazy place at the same time. It's so sleazy and like.
Yep.
I just remember I was in the casino and I was like, I think it was the Tropicana, and I was near the corner and I found this machine. I was like, no one was using it. It was big and bright and I was like, sure, I'll play on this. So I sit down on it and I noticed there's this little thing. It lets you play a max bet on a small amount of money.
Yep.
But it gives you a chance to make this max bet. And I was like, I only have 10 cents. So then I rolled it, the max bet, little thing option it has. And the minimum bet though is like $5. I don't have $5. I only have 10 cents on my little voucher, but let me do the max bet. I won like $37 from this 10-cent bet. And I was like, wait a minute. I found this loophole. I was like, wait, I can just keep betting. I can just keep putting 10-cent vouchers in the machine and betting max bets. So then I start, but at this time, I'm already like $0. I lost all $200 of my dollars at the casino. Well, I'll just get $1 from my mom. It's like, hey, mom. I walked over to her. Say, hey, can you give me $1? I go purposely over to the penny slot machines, and I'm losing purposely so I can get down to 10 cent, per little voucher. And I walk over there, and I sit down at the machine, and I start just betting 10 max bet, 5 cent, 1 cent, 10. I get up to almost $200 at them. I was like, oh man, I found this loophole. I was like, what the hell? So then I get up, and we were about to leave, and I was like, damn, I wish I could just stay longer. And like I was getting like that addiction, like I could just keep working this system. And I go up and I show my voucher to my mom. And I said, I didn't pull any money out of the ATM. Look at this. And she goes, $200. I gave you $1. I was like, yeah, I found this little machine that lets me just like really has this little broken loophole. And I was thinking, what it reminds me of is that freaking idiot on Robinhood that found that loophole where you can just keep borrowing money from Robinhood.
Oh God, yes.
But you know what he did? He did the stupidest thing. He took millions of dollars. And he did what was like a call option on shorting Tesla or something. It was something so dumb. No, it was worse. It was like Apple. He's like, I'm betting Apple will go down by 75%. I'm like, you fucking idiot. What are you thinking? Like
on borrowed money.
On borrowed money, people. Borrow $1 million. He got a loophole where he could just keep borrowing $100,000.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why on earth, when you find a loophole like that, would you bet a stock is gonna go down 75%? Like, what was he? Maybe it's just that dumb thing of, well, of course a stupid person that found that loophole and used it over and over again would do that.
Yeah.
Because any rational person would be like, wait a minute, I'm borrowing this money. This is not my money. Yeah. But at least if you're gonna be like that, you find a loophole, you do it smart. Like you sneak over to the machine, make sure nobody's looking at you. Yeah. When you make the bets, like. But this guy, and he even recorded, I gotta find it and put it in the show notes. He recorded his reaction of him losing all his money from the borrowed money. He was like a negative $1 million. Yeah, so he owed I think it was like $2 million to Robinhood.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, good God, it was something insane. I gotta find that video because he had the dumbest look on his face, like, I thought it was gonna go down. Like, I'm like, you idiot.
What happened?
And anybody knows when you short a stock, you're betting the stock will go down. But here's the problem. When you short something, you can lose, theoretically, infinite money. Because if the stock can go up, however high it wants to go, if you go the opposite, if you buy long, which means you think the stock's going to go up, you're betting the stock's going to go up, it can only go to zero. It can't go below zero. If the stock loses all of its value, it's going to go to zero and stop. But if you short a stock, and it goes from $100 per share to $1,200 per share, the odds are incredibly low that's going to happen, but it can happen. You can lose.
Well, what happens is
you lose a lot more money.
If multiple people are shorting it, then once it reaches that level that you're shorting it at, then you automatically buy that stock.
Yeah.
So if you're shorting like 50 shares,
it forces you. That's called a short squeeze, by the way. Everybody.
Short squeeze. Yeah.
Squeeze you out. And
I've seen that. I've watched that. Oh my God, man. I've been shorting on a stock before, and I've seen that short squeeze. It was like this tiny little stock. It was like $4 or something, and it hit the short squeeze. It was like $4.30, and once it hit that $4.30 mark, it shot up to like $7, and I'm like, like I had to get out quick. Like, holy shit.
I read this book on the stock market, and it talks about you should only be shorting stocks if you've been trading for like 20 years. Like, it's really dangerous. Like, it's incredibly risky. And actually, in general, I'm going to go ahead and just put this out there. You should not be trading pretty much at all. Like, if you're in debt, if you have credit card debt and student loans, you do not need to be trading. You just need to get out of debt. That will just automatically save you 22% interest on your credit cards. Like, you're not going to be able to consistently make 20% or more on investing. Like, you're better off just paying off your credit card debt. Like, this is how I explain it to people. It's like trying to win a race with a 50-pound weight tied to your ankle. Like, you're trying to make more money than your credit cards are taking out of your money. Like, that doesn't just pay off the credit card, dummy. Like, you got $10,000 in credit card debt. Just pay that off. That's automatic interest you're not paying. So that's a guaranteed return. So people trying to make like a 30% return on the stock so they can pay down their credit card debt, that's dumb. Just pay off your debts.
And if you want to get into trading, like we said before, if you decide you want to do day trading, you better be completely 100% all in, or it's gonna knock you on your ass.
Well,
Like you have to
you're up
be
against way smarter people. Just to
right.
be honest,
Yeah,
like you're
like you have to invest. You have to invest into it. Like you need to do all the different lessons out there. You need to watch all the videos. And like I said, it's more than a full-time
and
job.
you're
Like
not
I found
and you're
myself
not
all
just
weekend
yeah,
long.
and you're not just against. Here's the big difference between investing and day trading and trading in general. This is why I put a line in the sand. It's a zero sum game when you're trading. It's a zero. You win, someone else loses. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
casino and you betting. But when you invest, it's a little different. When you invest for the long run, you're essentially what a stock is just a share of the company's assets. So say the company has a factory and these employees. Those are assets. They have these smart people and they have this factory. When you buy a share of that, you're buying a share. You're sharing the assets. You own a piece of
Mm-hmm.
that. So you're giving the money to the company so they can use that to invest back into themselves. So technically, it's not a zero sum game. It's a positive sum game when you invest because now they're taking the money you gave them and they're making something in the real world. They're making something. They're making a phone or they're making a car. That's not a zero sum game. That's a positive sum game. Because, for example, here's a really super easy example of a positive sum situation. Say you have a piece of land, I buy the land, I hire a bunch of people to build a house on it. Not only is the lot now more expensive because I built a house there and it's more valuable, but now I have land, I have an asset. Now there's guys who got paid to build it. So everybody
Mm-hmm.
got a piece. Everybody got something good out of it. No one went away from building that house because I lost. Oh, he took away my time and my energy. Like that's not a zero sum game.
Yeah.
Me building real estate on a lot, it would be a positive sum game because someone got something out of it. I got something out of it. It's kind of like you scratch my back. I rub your penis, like.
You promise?
But that's the bottom line. That's why I draw the line in the sand. Like I don't trade. I'm
Yeah.
just giving money to a company I like. Like
Yep.
that's how I look at it. It's like a
And
donation. It's
that's
like a donation. Like here you go. Hope the stock
yep.
goes up. Yay.
I heard a couple of the guys I follow that I actually like. Connor was one of them, but he always would say, "Don't," like we said before, don't invest in companies you don't know anything about. Like, don't just don't do it. Stay away from
You're
that.
just
And I
throwing your
did
money
that.
away.
Right, I did that many times, and it never worked out. And so now that I finally was like, oh well, okay, I'm only going to invest in companies that I like and I know, and I'm like up, 30-40% now. So and it's not like it's not anything I have to like check on every single day.
Also, too,
I
I
look
think
at it.
too when you like a company and you like what they make, you're more likely to stick with them through the ups
Yeah.
and
Yep.
downs, through the
Oh
bad
yeah.
days and the good days. You're more likely to just hold
Yep.
on to it.
For sure.
Like
Yeah.
if you're holding, say you have a company shares of some random company, you don't even know who's the CEO, you don't know nothing about it. It goes down 20%. You're going to be really tempted to sell. Be
Yeah.
fearful and just sell it if you don't know nothing about that company. You're just going to dip out as soon as it gets bad. You're like, bye. And then you're going to just take your losses.
Yeah.
That's why I don't trade. I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm so glad that, like doing the trading or not trading, doing the investing that both of us have done now. It's besides what happened earlier this year, with when COVID hit, like that was a little stressful because I was in on quite a few investments that tanked pretty bad, but I was able to get out in time to be able to like sit back, take my money out, wait until see like, okay, when's a good time to get back in, just listening, like watching, looking at things, and then got back in at a pretty good time. And so now,
That's funny. Like you're talking about timing and stuff. Like I don't try. There's another rule. It's like don't try to time the market. I don't do that at
yeah,
all. I
right.
don't. I don't really. I don't. I don't get too far off from the golden rules. Really, like
Right.
from the books
Well,
I've read.
the only reason I say timing for now is because it's such a unusual time with what happened, with when COVID first hit. Like that was the only time like that I really was like, okay, because I hadn't really even got too involved in anything up until then. Like I was up so good on everything. And then when, the week or so that it just went like the Dow's down 2,000. Today it's down 3,000. I mean, when it went from almost 30,000 down to like
It
16.
hit what's called a circuit breaker. It just started hitting circuit breakers. That's when you know it's getting bad. It's like, whoa.
Right. It was like bad, man. Like, and when it went down I think one day it went down like 1,500. And I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. I'll just wait. And like the next few days, it was like, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I'm like, whew, okay, I got to get out of here.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy. I'm gonna be honest. I'm mostly invested in tech stuff, and when I saw that stuff, I kind of just missed it because I was just focused on buy more. I was just like, oh, this is the perfect time to buy more. Oh my god, buy more. And I did. I was just like, I was buying Tesla. I was buying this.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this is when Tesla was like, I don't know, $300 a share or something. Yeah, I was like, well, just buy it. Now it's like $1,800 a share.
Right.
But I got lucky because most of my stuff is just in growth stock mutual funds, which is tech stuff, Facebook, Apple, Amazon. Tesla's not part of that stuff yet, but I have individual stock of Tesla. And that all did fine. That all did great. Like that stuff, especially Amazon, they did really well that after that initial fall. Yeah. Like it went up easily. Those companies went up like 50%. Like it made up for that dip. Definitely made up for that dip. I don't invest. This is one thing where I stray from, and it's Benjamin Graham's book, The Value Investor. Mm-hmm. I don't really follow like, oh, this company's got great dividends and blah 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 blah. I don't. I just stick to the tech stuff. That's because the stuff I follow naturally.
Yeah, the stuff you know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not reading Moody's manuals like Warren was like when he's a little kid. Not doing that.
Yeah, man, that's the same. I like I said, I was involved in some mutual funds and those kinds of things, and I just basically took a different. I got repositioned somewhat, and so like I said, I pulled out, repositioned, and now it's repositioned. Went from missionary to doggy. But no, it's worked out really well.
It sounded like you're sounding kind of down. It sounded like you pulled a switch hitter or whatever it's called. You got pegged.
Oh God! Oh God!
What's the secret word? What's the
safe word?
Safe word. You were in like a GIMP.
Biscuits.
You were like down on your knees and the stock market's on top of you. You're like in a GIMP suit. Like, what's the safe word? Circuit breakers. Circuit breakers.
Circuits. Oh, geez.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
We're trying to keep this exciting. We'll have more poop jokes.
As much as we could.
Stock market. Ooh, we can bore the shit out of some people.
Sorry, putting everybody to sleep. Yeah, man. Like I had so many instances where I'm just like,
did I ever
this.
tell you about?
I can't.
Did I ever tell you about Bitcoin?
No.
People are like, oh, Bitcoin is such a good investment. No. I remember I borrowed. This was the dumbest thing I've ever did. I was like, Bitcoin just keeps going up. That means it's just going to keep going up, right? So I was like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to borrow $1,000. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. So I bought $1,000 of Bitcoin. That shit shot down 40%. I lost almost all of my money. I was like, oh, and then I owed that money. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
What was that through?
It was a piece of Litecoin and Bitcoin.
Was that Robinhood?
No, this was that Coinbase thing. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And I just remember thinking like, oh, you're just going to have to just buy index funds. I just had that realization, like, no more trading. You're not trading anymore. Yeah. I'm done. I don't like this. Yeah. I'm not going to. This was me learning after the day trade thing. I was like, oh, I'm not going to swing trade anything. And I was like, anybody comes up to me like, you got to buy Bitcoin. I'd be like, you got to get the out of my face. like, just get away from me. Like,
Bitcoin's going to be $70,000 next week.
I remember when you came up. You didn't came up to me, but you texted me. You're like, "Oh, this pharmaceutical." I'm like, "Get away!" Like Tesla's already on it. I don't need to.
Moderna.
There's this line.
Moderna.
There's this line in the book Richest Man in Babylon. It goes, people will always try to pressure you into investments that you probably should not get into. I'm like, yeah, like this is how I feel about Tesla. Like I feel like I'm pressuring people. I'm like, do not feel the pressure
Right.
to buy individual stocks because it's really risky. It's incredibly risky. This is why I said you want to be debt free.
And like we said earlier, no one can predict the stock market.
No.
The smartest, most highest level expert.
You know that saying? A broken clock is right twice a day?
Yeah.
There's always that one guy's like,
yeah.
every 5 years, he's like,
I told you
it's going to go down. Told you. Like, duh, yeah, I eventually would.
Unless your name's Martha Stewart, then you can't predict it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm putting you in jail.
Sorry, Martha.
Did you see that? I can't remember if it was a senator or a House member. They sold like $5 million worth of like in their investments the day before the stock market started plunging. They were trading on insider information. And the interviewer was like, you do realize that's trading on insider information, because she heard the information at a disclosed meeting about the stock market tanking. And then she went home and called her broker and told him to sell everything. And she thought she was so slick. It was like, you do realize that wasn't disclosed to the public. Like, that's insider trading, you dumb butt. Yep. So she had this look on her face like, oh, crap. I'm going to jail.
Uh-oh. I pulled a Martha Stewart.
I was like, yeah, you can't do that. If you're trading on information that's not available to other people, that's insider trading. Like, if you do that, don't tell anybody you did it.
Yeah, right.
You didn't hear that from me. You didn't hear from me. When you don't know what you're doing, it is literally like just Viva Las Vegas.
Right.
Like, you're just going to that table. You're that Chinese guy and putting $1,000.
Don't invest in things you don't know. Yeah, don't do it. It's not smart. I've learned. You've learned, and hopefully anyone else out there will learn. Or if you do it, if you want to try it and play around, just play around with low dollar amounts. $10.
Here's a fundamental.
$20.
Here's a fundamental truth, and this is really hard to get across to people. A large return on a small amount of money is still just a small amount of money. This is why people get discouraged from investing. Yeah. You can make 300% on $5. That's still only $15 or whatever. That's not that big a deal. But it's better to make a small return on a large amount of money than it is to make a large return on a small amount of money. This is what most people do. They open up Stash, like an app or Robinhood. They put $100 in. And it goes up $5. Like, oh, I made $5. Wow. And then they lose $35. And then they go, oh, this is stupid. And they never do it ever again. In reality, what most people need to do is you need to open up a money market account, and it's gone. No. You open up like from Barclays, just like a high interest savings account. That's essentially what a money market account is. You put the money in there, you accumulate it, then you take it out, and you just find you a good index fund with a good track record, or a good mutual fund with a good track record. I'm talking like 25 years. You put it in there and you get your 10% for the year. And you know what? You'll make $100 passively. You didn't do anything. You didn't lift any hard. You didn't do any hard labor. You didn't read a bunch of books. You didn't do anything.
Yep.
That's what most rich people are doing. They're making
well, the rich get richer.
They're making a substantial amount of money from small returns. Like 10% on $1 million is $100,000. You didn't work hard for that. That just came in passively from your mutual fund.
It's like our famous saying, make the money work for you and don't work for the money.
Yeah. Millionaires are not borrowing money from Robinhood and then putting a call option on shorting a stock. Like, that's so dumb.
I did that for like a good year or so. I was on that Robinhood Gold, and they give you like $6,000 on top of what you already are investing, but it's like $40 a month. And I added it up, and I'm like, I looked at how much I was making per month, over that time. I'm like, okay, I'm paying $40 a month. How much am I actually making per month?
-400.
And it was not, right. It wasn't even close. I'm like, why am I paying them $40 a month to borrow money that I'm losing?
You know what? I think there's a bubble. I'm going to say it now, and maybe in the future we're going to listen back to this podcast and go like, Trevor was so right. I think there is a bubble going on right now. I think it's a retail investor bubble. I think it's very similar to what happened in 1928 where you had people borrowing money to gamble in the stock market. That is
Mm-hmm.
so dumb. This is what led to the crash. People were, because back then you didn't put money in a savings account. You just went straight to the stock market, and you just started borrowing money like crazy. Oh, I'm going to borrow 10 grand and put it, because stocks were doing so well. So people would just borrow money to put it in the stock market. But what happened though is once people started losing money, more money than that they borrowed, they couldn't pay back the debt, and then this caused like a nasty feedback loop. And then the stock market crashed because people started pulling their money out and all kinds of stuff, and that runs on the bank. But anyways, I think there's like a possible bubble going on right now, because I know I said earlier the economy is not stock market, but right now people feel like, oh, why bother putting it in a savings account? It's got to grow, right? You got to put it in the stock market. But the problem is you're not putting it in companies that are actually doing anything. Like you're getting on Robinhood and putting $100 in Nikola. Like Nikola's not making anything. They're not doing anything. Like you're just creating.
Or GE.
Yeah,
GE's a terrible stock.
Yeah, you're just creating a bubble. I remember just like that guy on YouTube comments. Oh, airline went down. It must go back up eventually. Like, oh, how do you know that? How do you know it's not going to go bankrupt?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I think a lot of it is the EV market too, the EV bubble market. Everyone sees the success of Tesla. And they're like, oh, I got to get in on the next Tesla. It's like, well,
Tesla is the next Tesla.
yeah,
right?
like Jim Cramer put it perfectly. He's like, everyone's out there looking for the next Tesla. Tesla, it's right here. It's called Tesla. It's right in front of you, idiot. Like, they already proven they're profitable. They have high margins in the car. They've proven they can bring a car to mass market.
Yep.
And they have the logistics figured out. It's like, it's just insane. Like, these people are just throwing money at these electric startup companies. It's like, one of them will definitely do well. Don't be wrong, but are they in existence right now? Probably not. It probably won't be another few years until we realize who's the real competitor for Tesla.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason I say a few years because the cost of batteries will start to plummet, and then it'll make sense to start up, and make an electric car. Right now, it's just too hard to get the supply chain to make. This is something we didn't talk about in other episodes, but making an EV is really hard for mass production because you have to have tons of battery cells being produced, and that requires a lot different supply chains than internal combustion engine parts and stuff. A lot of that stuff is just metals and castings, and it's hard to explain, but the batteries, it's more of a chemical process, and you need like lithium, you need cobalt, you need all these rare
nickel.
Yeah, you need all these rare earth metals, and you have to mine them, and you have to. I'm pretty sure lithium comes from salt brines out in South America, but these things are not something you can just flip a switch and all of a sudden you're producing 500,000 cars worth a year of batteries. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry, but Tesla's the only one that has done that so far. Legacy car makers like Ford, GM, and all the other ones, they have too much of a burden because their business model is on selling gas cars. You're not going to just all of a sudden go, oh, that thing that's making me money and keeping me alive, let's get rid of it. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to tell everybody at the dealership,
all the dealerships,
hey, everybody, stop buying our stuff and wait a few years for us to make EVs. Like, no, you're going to lie to everybody. You're going to tell
those 500 Ford F-150s you have on the lot right now. Just dump them.
Yeah, we're going to make something way better. So don't even bother buying anything right now. Yeah, they're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you, EVs suck. Gas cars are way better. Range anxiety. Also too, you have the dealership model, service model. They make a lot of money from servicing those cars.
Oh yeah,
their fleet. They're not really making a whole lot of money on the sale of the truck. They're making it on the oil changes and the repairs. So you have this kind of situation. I heard this best analogy. It's sort of like this: GM's walking in the woods, and they step in a bear trap. The bear trap is the EV transition to electric vehicles. That's what's happening. For GM to survive, they have to come to the conclusion that they can't get out of the bear trap. You're stuck. I have to cut my leg off and then crawl to town. That's the only way I can survive. Or I can sit here and die, starve to death at the bear trap.
Yeah.
And what's going on right now, guess what they're choosing? They're choosing not to cut off their leg. They're choosing just to stay there and starve to death.
Yep.
It's kind of getting to the point of no return where it's too late now. You can't cut the leg off. You're just going to starve to death. And I think that's what's happening is that they're too slow because they're such big companies. They're too slow to move and realize like, oh crap, if I don't move now, I'm dead. Like I have to cut my leg off.
Yep.
But I don't think they're going to do that.
I think more and more people are realizing how much of a difference having an electric car like a Tesla is from having a combustion, full on spark plug, belts and wires and gauges and all that shit.
What do you think they're going to reveal on Battery Day?
I don't know.
It's coming up, man. It's coming up.
It's coming up. Yeah. I think we'll see.
I'm really curious. Like, I'm curious. Like, is it going to be just battery stuff, like powertrain, or is it going to be like a vehicle reveal, like of a new refresh of the Model S with a new screen? Like, I'm really wondering. There's a wide variety of things they could be revealing, like 1,000-mile or a million-mile battery.
For sure that you're thinking about is like it's going to be something.
It's got to be something good because
the range.
Because Musk has been playing it up like crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be something like
their call. Like he talked about it a lot on their stock, whatever they're called. They had
the earnings report.
The investors, the earnings report. Yeah, he talked about it quite a bit.
What I'm thinking is they're going to reveal. I want to say they're going to reveal something in a magnitude of like 30% increase in battery efficiency. And and something about manufacturing. Something about like, we can manufacture this many cells, meaning we can make 2 million cars per year. Something crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe they'll reveal a refresh of the Model S and X. Yeah. Or maybe a whole nother car. They'll reveal like a compact car or something. Because he wants to do it.
They're talking about.
Yeah, because he wants to do an event. Car. He wants to do a physical event. I was like, I think he might be pulling a car out on stage.
Yep.
That's why he wants to do it. And I think
they're talking about even less expensive, like compact model. So like a city, like one for like made for like city driving and stuff, like New York and stuff.
Even if it was just revealed for China and then like a year later for America, that'd be a big deal.
Yep.
Because you're talking about a mass market car, like not $50,000 car.
Oh yeah.
But
all I know is I'm ready for that stock to go up even more. What? 2,000, here we come. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But no, I've pretty much pulled everything out of Robinhood though. I just have a little bit in there.
So what have we learned, everybody?
Stock market is basically the casino.
If you don't know what you're doing,
right? You don't know what you're doing.
Viva
don't look at
Vegas.
Don't look at the stock market as a get rich quick unless you're willing to put in 100% of your time, effort, energy, and like you don't have a family pretty much because you won't be able to do it then. So
I was thinking if anybody comes up to you and they tell you they have a get rich quick scheme or they're you start my Amazon selling course for 3 easy payments of $295. I'll teach you how to make $12,000 per month selling on Amazon. Like they're BSing you hardcore. Like you are going to eat and breathe that stuff. You're not going to just get rich quick.
And plus, why are they going to sell it to you? I mean,
why are they come up to you if they have this amazing secret to make you $1 zillion? They would just do it themselves and never come up to you.
That was like some of the guys you watched doing the stock trading. There was a couple that we both agreed that we were pretty good. They seemed to have good intentions. Like Connor was one of them. He didn't seem to be like, I know he does his courses and all that, and he wants to make money, but there was others that I followed.
You can kind of tell when people do it because it's from a genuine, authentic place.
Yes.
Like, I just want to teach acting or I want to teach music.
Yeah.
Like Warren Buffett taught investing at Columbia University. That's because he loves investing. He wasn't trying to scam people out of money.
Yep.
Same thing with his mutual fund. He started his own fund. He wasn't trying to scam people. He just needed more capital.
That's what you have to look out for when you're if you're wanting to get involved in doing trading, day trading, swing trading, just be on the lookout for the guys that are like, they'll tease you. They'll be like, hey, let me show you everything I know. And then you go and click their video and they show you everything up until a certain point. And then they're like, all right, if you want to see more, click here. It's $99 a month and, $150 down. Like, don't do that. Just don't.
I have a quick
There's
question.
enough information.
I have a quick question for you though. You keep saying out there, if you want to day trade and swing trade, I think you actually need to stop and actually ask yourself, do you really want to day trade and swing trade, or do you really just want to buy an index fund and then just see your money grow over time? Like, that's what most people actually want. Yep. So be sure when you start doing something, you have a clear idea of what you want.
Yeah.
Because if you're just putting money in random places, it's not going to do a whole lot in the stock market. Like I said, I made 30% on $50. Whoa! Yeah. It's not going to be life changing. It's just
if you want to play around with day trading, take $100 and just look at some penny stocks and just goof around with them.
I thought you were about to be sarcastic. Just take $100 and put it into a shredder.
Right. Well, that too. I mean, okay. Like, it's like when you go to a casino. If you say, I'm taking this $100 to the casino, expecting to lose it. I'm not expecting to make a ton of money, but if I do, that's great. But I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to play around with day trading, just do low dollar amounts. Like, if you do something like if you buy a 10-cent stock and it shoots up to 15 cents, you make $15. That's a win, But if you lose the $100 and you didn't really expect to make any money, then that's okay. Now you've experienced day trading, and now you can say, I don't like this. Like, I'm done. That was stressful. I don't. You
can do what we did, but in 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. You stare at a screen, and you have to go use the bathroom, but you can't leave the screen. So you're like, I don't know what to do.
Ma'am, bathroom,
yeah,
back in.
The biggest thing that sucks about the stock market and trading and stuff is you gotta follow the fucking news.
Oh God!
Oh yes. My God!
Yes, you have to.
Did I tell you the other day I was flipping through my phone and I accidentally went to the news page on my phone?
Yeah.
Like, that news section? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God!
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just in that split second of reading the news, I was like, shown the dark abyss of humanity. I was like, oh my God!
Did you see what this person in this state did to this person?
I kid you not. It was like, so and so was split in half and pissed on. It was like lady murdered 7 puppies. I was like, Jesus Christ! Lady took child and threw into wood chipper. Like, I'm like, just like, in split second, I read those titles.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, end of the world. I'm like, what in the fucking...
You can't escape the news if you're trading.
If you're trading,
you have to read. You have to see the things. You have to read the politics. You have to know,
because it affects the market and stuff. And
what did the president say about balloon animals? I'm gonna. And
it could be the dumbest thing too. Like, you know what? I think Trevor's right. I think Tesla. It's gonna move up.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do a swing trade on Tesla. So you get on there and you put $1,000. I'm gonna make so much money in a week. It's going to go up. Better days coming up. And then something like Donald Trump cusses out Elon Musk on Twitter. Stuff
Tesla's tanks.
It's like, oh my God, the stupidest fucking thing.
Yeah. And then you're like waiting, and you're like, okay, it's going to go back up any day now.
7 years later.
Back up.
7 years later to go back to that same price.
That's another thing I made a mistake on too, is trying to reposition day of or next day. I'm just going to get in at this low level. Oh no, it went down even more. Oh shit.
That's me and GoPro. Like, maybe it's the dollar cost average or something.
So it can't below this. Yes, it can.
This plane can go all the way down. This American Airlines could go a lot lower. Trust me. Oh my God. Yeah, I've been reading that comment, dude. He said, "Yeah, airline went down. It must be going back up."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
Everything that goes down has to go up.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Not necessarily.
No.
You're ready to read some candlestick patterns. That's gonna be your daily, every single day life is candle. You're gonna hear candlesticks.
You don't have to leave this in, but before I let you go, dude. You know, it's funny. Like me and you, we read the books and we took the courses and stuff.
Yep.
You know what scares me? There's people like that dumb guy on the YouTube comment section. He probably just got the Robinhood app and he bought in some stuff and it went up because the market recovery in the stock market, right? And I bet he's sitting there thinking, I'm so smart.
Yep.
American Airlines went down and I bought it and it went back up. And I'm
Investing
thinking,
is so easy.
Investing is so easy and trading is so, it's like, no, you do not know, dude. Like you were, wait till 2021 when his shit starts going sideways and shit and fucking down. You're gonna be fucking pissed. Like, this is why I just stick to what I like.
Yep.
Like, I don't have to follow the news. I don't have to do a bunch of extra homework. I could just caress Elon's hair. I love you, Elon. We love you.
Yeah, 2 years later, after my first stint in trading, I'm actually doing so well, like so much better. Now that I'm not investing as much time into the trading part of it and just investing, it's like working out great, you know?
The sad truth is, and this is just this is something I just learned, most people are going to do well when you just have it on autopilot. When you have, I read this book called Automatic Millionaire, and the more automated it is, you're investing, the better, because you take out all the emotion, you take out all the constant checking. Like, you're not checking it constantly. You just every once in a while you'll open your thing and go, oh, my mutual fund went up 15%. Wow, that's nice.
And when you check it all the time, you start to question yourself, and that's what really draws. You start to wonder.
Am I doing this right?
Yeah. Should I sell? What should I do?
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah. Just put it on autopilot. Just let it go.
Let the experts work for you. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah. You know, there's people out there that's what they do. Their life is the stock market. So
it's so easy. It's so fucking funny. Like, all you gotta do is just go on E-Trade, look at the funds, click on how well they did in the last 25 years.
Yep.
This averaged 13% every year. I'm like, well, there you go.
There you go.
That's the one you buy. Like, it's not.
And you can see every company they have. Like, you can check. Like,
yeah.
What does the mutual fund have? Like, here's the company.
Yeah, you can 2% Facebook, 3% Amazon. Like,
those really are good, solid companies that are not going to go bankrupt tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.